Hello, everybody. AJ, the CEO here. Thank you so much for stopping by. Woohoo! Hey, folks, AJ here. Hey, we're thankful for y'all to stop by here for another Q&A. Ask me anything about media ministry. I don't know everything, folks, but hopefully the little bit that I do know will make this journey a little bit easier for you. We come here every Friday as best as we possibly can to answer your questions and introduce you to the great community that we have out here, that if I don't know anything, hopefully I can point you in the direction of somebody in our community that can help you out. Let's get all the formalities out of the way. Let's go ahead and holler at the great folks that are here online today. Parker, hello. How are you doing? Vinroy, hello and good morning to you. Richard, good morning. The legendary Monty Weaver, how you doing, sir? Mike from Canada, how are you doing? AJaytheCEO, Church, hello, how you doing? Brian Jones, how you doing, sir? Coach, how you doing? Good morning to you. Ajax Neil, sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Hello. Mr. G. Albert, hello. Candace, hello. Reverend MJF, how are you doing?
Mr. Clarence, how you doing? How you doing? And Dean, good morning to you. I am doing well. I am doing well. My pedal wasn't working here half a second ago, so I got that working literally right before the live stream started. But I hope y'all are all doing well, folks. We got a lot of stuff going on. First off, I am 30 days away from, I was going to say vacation. It is a vacation, but I'm taking my daughter on her first cruise. So I'm excited about that, waiting to see how she's going to enjoy that. But let's get all the formalities out of the way, folks. First off, if you like what we do, I would, and if you like what we do, you can consider becoming a patron by going to patreon.com/AJaytheCEO, or you can click the join button down below to become a YouTube member. If that's not one of your things that you're interested in, you could always go to emissionarygear.com, get some merch there. Whatever you do, it contributes to do what we do. Get materials, get gear, get equipment, all this other stuff, because great people like y'all and my company and the rollover or whatever I have, that's what funds this channel. So if you like what we do and you want us to do more and more, hey, you help contribute to it, and then we can do some more stuff. So always check that out. Also, let me use this platform to shout out your people, folks. I mean, y'all are doing some great stuff, and y'all know the truth is most of the time the media ministry is the least appreciated group out there. So let me use this platform to shout y'all's people out. Email me at questions@ajhomes.com. Make the subject my media team. Send me a picture of your team, where you're located, your ministry's name, and all that good stuff so I can shout out your people. Let me turn off my pointer here. What else we got going on? Thank you, folks who are still buying my books there on Amazon. Got maybe about 4 left here in the house. If you ever wanted to get them autographed, you can go to AJaytheCEO.com and get them from there. And folks, we are 55 days, 9 hours, 48 minutes, and 27 seconds away from the 3rd annual E-Missionary Conference. It is still plenty of time for you to come in the place, or you can attend online. Just remember, folks, no matter which way you pick, even if you're in person, you have to register and put your email account in, so that way you can watch all the sessions, because you're not going to be able to attend all the sessions because you're only one person, unless you're able to go to the astral plane and split your consciousness between multiple rooms. But you attend one, that login will allow you to go and watch the replay of those other sessions. And the same way for everybody else that's online. Once the session is over, give it about maybe 5 to 15 minutes, and we'll be able to put the replay up there so that y'all can rewatch it. And y'all have access to all that stuff for 9 months before we upload it here to YouTube. We are, as much as I didn't want to do this, I think I'm going to cut off in-person registration at a certain point in time. Well, let me change this. I just had an epiphany. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to stop the registration. I'm going to have to limit the registration, because I'm already in talks with our caterers and all this other stuff, and I got to give them a head count so that they can prepare. So what's going to happen is the Wednesday of that week. So what's that? 18, 7. On the 16th of July, if you are registering in person, it is going to be at a reduced rate, and it's going to be at a reduced features, meaning that chow bela, that food you're going to be eating, is going to be kind of limited for dinner. Because, you know, if you want to do that, folks, go ahead and get registered. That way I can add you in the number, so that when caterers, because they're doing it by head, by person, by plate, by seat, whatever, I need to give them that count the week before the conference, so that they have plenty of time to get that stuff in. But would love to see you in the place, see you there physically at Antioch, 1384 New Market Road in Richmond, Virginia, or see you online. We got a total of 47 people right now that are going to be in the place, and another 48 that are registered right now. So to be online. So really looking forward to that. I do have a form that if you're interested in being technical support online or in person, that volunteer stuff is there at a drastically reduced price. And we're still looking for people. If you still want to teach, it's still plenty of time for you to get registered to teach online or in person. Excited about seeing y'all in the place. I think that is about it that I have for right now. Let's go back to here and let's see. Lamar, good morning, good morning. Kingston Corner, hello, hello to you. Patrick, good morning to you. All right, I might have to get back to that. Folks, know when we get started, please start your stuff with a Q so it makes it easy for me to see your question. If I do not get to your question, know you can email me at questions@ajhomes.com. Give me 48 to 72 hours to respond. If me and you go back and forth, at least about 3 emails, I would highly recommend you go ahead and book a consultation. Go to ajhomes.com/consultation, set up a consultation. We can do phone, Zoom, in person. We do travel, folks. That way I have dedicated time to talk with you, because when you send me an email, it is as if I'm in front of my computer or my phone to respond to you. So I can't guarantee how fast I can respond back, but with a consultation, it is booked right there so I can do some stuff and help you out as best as possible. If you're not a part of it, folks, make sure you go to Facebook, look up Modern Media Ministry Made Easy, answer the 3 questions. You are in like Flynn, and you can join the 3,500 media ministers from all over the world, and we're trying to empower each other to move them forward. I am finished editing the work that we did, the video for the work that we did at the River Church. I finished that up yesterday. Once this is over, I'm gonna finish editing that, upload that so y'all can see the stuff there with Senior Pastor Ron down there in Toana, however you pronounce it, Toana, Virginia. I think some of them are going to be in attendance as well. Last thing for the conference, I saw a couple of people have made their account, but they have not purchased their ticket. I need y'all to go ahead and do that, and really admonish you, if you plan on going, please register. You're making this stuff easy for us, because me and my daughter are making badges, making all this other stuff like this, and it's going to be hectic that week before. So if you're planning on going at any point in time, please register early. All right, I think that is about it. I don't think I left anything out. One last thing before we get started with y'all's questions. Where are we at? I think we're about ready to do some celebrating here in a little bit, folks, because we just hit the other day. We're at 69,225 subscribers. We are 875 away from 70,000 subscribers, and another 30,000 away from 100,000 subscribers. So I haven't seen him in a minute. I haven't seen Josh, and I haven't seen, man, why did his name just escape? Chuck. I was going to say, I just wished him a happy birthday. They said from when I hit 100,000 for me to do the chicken dance. I didn't forget that. So we're excited about hitting that goal that we've had for a long time. It's coming right around the corner. Not as fast as I wanted to, but hey, it's coming there. So anyway, folks, let's get started with your questions. Please start it off with a Q. That way it jumps out to me really easily. And we will go with that. Let's see. The first question. Mr. Clarence, did you see the Cloud Broadcast Network Operations Center announcement from Broadcast Management Group? No, sir, I did not. Broadcast Management. I have not seen that. Studio designed to build staff and manage to support enterprise. I mean, let me know. Is this the same one that you're talking about? Are you talking about this one, or am I doing something else? Let me know. But we will cycle back there. John, hey, you are welcome. And means one. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I think you had a follow-up question. But between that, Richard, good morning to you as well. Back to John. Just got the Ubiquity Cloud Gateway Fiber. Sweet. We have 3 Nighthawk routers. We plan to switch to AP mode at first and use the fiber as the router. How long would you expect switching over to take? Honestly, not that long. I mean, once you switch them over and you do them in AP mode, I mean, you're going to be pretty straightforward with it. I mean, I know you're going to have fun with all of the routing settings and all this other stuff that you can start using with the Ubiquiti stuff. So speaking of, that reminds me, I got a humongous order that I have to do for Chicago. So we were supposed to go to Chicago, but I think some stuff came up. Unfortunately, there were some people have passed in the friends and family of Pastor Felicia. So some of the stuff got kind of steered off. So we're going to order all the equipment and have it shipped up there. And then most likely, just from my schedule, I won't be able to get back up there to the middle of August or maybe the middle of September. But we're going to work on that. But next part, want to make sure we don't leave things non-working if we don't plan enough time switching over. New to the Ubiquiti. Yeah, honestly, I would say take the Ubiquiti stuff, hook it up to your main internet. If you have a way to split it, you could just have everything set up and have it tested, have everything working before you actually flip it over, so you can have it kind of in a redundancy mode. When I was learning this stuff, or even when I get new stuff, I bring it in and hook it up to my main stuff and get it configured. And once I know it works, and I got all the access points, all that stuff set up to the way I want, permissions, networks, all that stuff, VLANs, then I move it over. And then if it's working behind my regular stuff or coming from your existing router, it'll work once you replace that router. Miss Richard, I do Zoom broadcast via OBS, but I lost the ability to see my virtual camera. How can I fix this? Well, it could be a couple of things. If you did a recent update, you might need to check out the privacy settings inside of Windows, because sometimes it does awesome. And I say awesome because I'm being sarcastic when I say this. It does some very dumb updates that messes up stuff. And I'm going to try and do this without showing all my information here. So just go to the control panel, type in privacy, and then look on camera here. And then first make sure that OBS and all this other stuff like that has permission first, that the camera is turned on, that you have access to that camera access right here. And then make sure that wherever the camera is, so you can see when I was playing Burnout Paradise, I haven't played that in a minute. I never gave Edge permission to use this camera. Get out of here. But make sure that your app is listed on here. So you see OBS is listed here, but not the full one, which is strange. Recent activity requests. Yeah, you should have access. I don't know if that kind of corresponds to that, but make sure that you do have access to that. Make sure you're on the latest version of OBS, and you should be straight. If there's anything other than that, I might have to do a deeper dive into that, but that's the best practices. Sometimes updates will turn that privacy setting off. Also, make sure that your microphone privacy is turned on so you can allow the mic, because sometimes that stuff will stop that. You're saying, what happened to the other microphone? Are you talking about this one? Sometimes when I'm moving around, I go with this one. So if I go back to this one, you know, we can. I just move around sometimes. Let me go back to this one. And then sometimes when I'm moving around, this mic gets in the way. But we'll go back to this one right now. I hope that's what you were talking about. And it looks like somebody just subscribed. I don't know why my notification is not showing. Yeah, I don't know why it's not showing like it used to. Oh, well. Richard, what do you get? How do you get the sound level meters on the TV when using an ATEM television to the HD and you have HDMI out to project? How do you get the sound level meters on the TV? All right, so to do that, that is going to be under the control ATEM control software. Coming up for here, you're going to go to the gear in the lower left-hand corner. You're going to go to the multi-view, and you see the icons right here. This is where you can have that will show the meters. So you're not going to see it. Did I have this camera set up? Yes, I did. Let's cut over here because I was using this other camera here. So if you see it right here, I turned that on. So you see the meters over there, and you see that pretty little girl right there. But anyway, you see the meters that are showing on the multi-view. But now it depends. Now, which ATEM are you using? Because right now, as you can see, that's how mine is. If I go to, well, that is my multi-view, so it's always going to show that. From here, this is the program view that's coming out, so you're not going to see it there. Are you asking for it to show on the view so that you can see? And real quick, for the people that want to know what I did with that, this is just the USB to HDMI adapter that my phone supports, and I'm running the Blackmagic app, camera app, that outputs a clean HDMI. That's what that is. So you could use this if you had a capture card going into your computer and stuff like that. But let me know if that's what you're talking about. Back to your question, you were saying one more time, make sure I didn't miss it. How do I get the sound level meters on the TV when using the ATEM Television Studio HD and you have HDMI out to project on the TV? I mean, if you want to show it, and if it's the clean HDMI out, I don't think it would show on the clean HDMI out, because if that was the case, it would show up on here. So let me, correct me if I'm wrong on your question, and we'll cycle back to that. Okay, Mr. Clarence is saying it was 100% cloud-based streaming stuff. Sweet, sweet. I had to look into that. Brian Jones. Regarding the conference, any hotel discounts available for attendees or recommended locations? At the bottom of the website, there are recommendations. And, you know, I try not to be a negative Nancy. But because we didn't have as many people book as possible, I did have discounts, but it's kind of like the cruise. If I didn't get enough people to register, they had to release the discount. So, you know, it's kind of what we learned from there. So if you go to the bottom, those are the recommended hotels, and they are not very far away from any of the places. So all of these are relative in the same place. So if I go here to directions, I didn't want to do that. Let me just go here to the maps of Google. And if I go to 1384 New Market Road, let me turn the layers off. We'll just do it like that. So there's the church. And if I zoom out, so you come down this road, get down here on Laburnum. So you just take a left. Well, if you're coming from the hotels, it'll be a right. But you come down here, go straight, go here. There's the airport. And then if you come up to right here, that is where all the hotels are. So that one that we were just talking about, that I was looking at the Hyatt, that's right there. The other ones that are mentioned, they are right there near the airport. And then the other one is right here and right there. Those are the ones I tried to keep something that was under $110. I will try and call them again to see, but for the most part, they tell me when they do a hotel, I have to at least have 20 rooms booked, and we didn't have that many for that. So that's why I wasn't able to get a discount when I initially called them. So this is kind of like a foremention of trying to do this in the future. Like doing stuff like this when setting up a conference, I'm learning so much with this stuff. They like to have this amount of stuff because, I mean, now most of the time, if we were hosting this at the hotel that had a convention center or something like that, we can get a discount like that. But we didn't have enough to do that. So maybe next time around we will do something like that. So I hope that helps. Tech for fun. What is the most obscure thing you've done with a Stream Deck? Well, the most obscure thing I've done is originally I had it. Well, I mean, I don't want to say it's obscure, but at Signs and Wonders, what I used to do is have it tied to an Elgato LED strip, and I would change the colors on the floor and in the media room so that people would have a color representation when we're close to a live stream. That's the most obscure thing I've done. Let's see. What do you think about the generative AI models announced by Google this week? I have not, man, my daughter's been with me and I've been shuttling her around to everything every single day. So I haven't really had a chance to get a deep dive on any new stuff that's coming out, but some of the stuff is really sick. Trying to do, and I'm gonna cycle back to what you're talking about, but let me cycle through this because I got some thoughts on some other things I want to talk about. Philip Paul, hello. Dean, I also got the Dream Machine capsule and a UFO access point, I call it, with the PoE injector. I want to get some cams for the house and want to ask, is there a unified DVR that won't break the bank? Honestly, the new Protect software will allow you to drop the videos into like a Synology or a NAS like that. So if you already got a NAS, I would do that. There is no, I mean, the easiest one is if you get the cloud gateway, the bigger ones that allow you to put an NVMe in there. But there's no standalone one that would make it a lot cheaper. So like if we look at the cameras, I mean, you're starting at like 300. That's the lowest one. I mean, you could start with this 249 one, but that's personally, I think that's silly because you can only put one 2.5 drive, inch drive inside of here, and $50 more, it gives you bays for 4 of them. Honestly, whenever I get a house, this is what I'm ultimately going to go to, and I'm going to add more cameras. But technically, I really don't need to. Francisco, if you're here, shh. So that's what I would think. But like I said, with some of the stuff, you can hook it up to an output stuff to any NAS that supports it. So if you have something like that, that would be the easier one. Lamar, what's your opinion on the AVIO adapter? Should I get a stage box or use them? Is it a difference between the two? Let me see. So I make sure I know what you're talking about. So those are Dante adapters that you're speaking of. Personally, I have not used any of them. I personally have not used any, so I kind of don't have an opinion of it. I don't know. I think Otis uses some of these. He hasn't joined yet, but I would redirect that question to him in the Facebook group or anybody here. If you've used any of them, personally, I have not, so I can't really speak to the good, the bad, the ugly about those. Life in the Sun. What can I use to cut down or stop the vibration of a PTZ camera? The platform I'm on shakes, vibrates when the doors close. This is a project that I've wanted to do, and I didn't get a chance to pan this out. Give me 1 second. See, this was the reason why I had the wireless. So I was trying to, you can get a gimbal for cars. So I had bought this with some shock absorbers and stuff that I was building out to where this would mount and then it would absorb the sound and stuff like that. Because this is literally the same thing. If you buy one of these type of car shock absorbers, I mean, you're talking about like $700, and parts for this cost me about like $80. So this was something I was playing around with trying to do. I needed to order some other shocks so they would go on this side. And the idea was I needed to make a plate so the camera would mount here and this would go to the frame and test it out. And this was like my first iteration of trying to do something like this. But then I've just been so busy. I wanted to get some thinner corded steel. So it would be like a shock absorber and then put some other shocks. You need something like that. Now I've used washing machine absorption things that you can put between the wall, and then also with the camera. I don't know why I was stripping like that. You could do something like that. Let's take a gander here on the Zon of Ammas. Let's see. Let's do camera shock absorber. And actually, so, and see, and this is the concept I was talking about, something like this. And this is actually way smaller than the one that I originally did. So you could put something like this in between that, and it's way smaller, but that's kind of what I was aiming for in building this. You get the parts, you can actually do this. But the idea is you would put the camera on here and then connect the other stuff here, and that would absorb that. And they got another one here. This is a little bit bigger. This is actually looks like the one that I had ordered for Greater Faith, AME. But this is something that I was trying to build out. And honestly, you get enough parts, you could actually build this yourself. Because I got this stuff, these parts from Servo City, and I used them before. I mean, it was just a circular plate and get another plate on top of here that will winch down the metal straps. And you could technically build this. So honestly, a smaller thread of steel cable would do that. And then if I had other ones around here, or I did a square version of this, you could do the same thing. The only, like I said, the issue that I hadn't got the mount here in the center because I got busy doing other stuff, and then had to use all my extra play money that was building the stuff ended up going into some projects and paying bills, you know, doing that adult stuff. But this is one I would probably recommend, and it's not as ugly and as huge as the other one that I had got originally. And I think, honestly, if this holds one of these that are mounted to a car or something like this, this should work well for you. So I will put a link to that if you were interested in that, whenever the link would want to come up. Thank you. Let's see. Camera shock absorber. Or if anybody else has any ideas of what y'all will use for that, please share it with the community. Josh Landers, the standard Unify NVR, not the NVR Pro, is 300. That's about as low money as you can get. Exactly. And then you can throw whatever drive in there, and that's kind of like my thoughts as well too. Anthony, what are the benefits of the Envato Stream Deck when it comes to a church live stream? Well, you're seeing me do that right now. So what's a good camera I can use? I might have to go back to my camera. It was my phone. It was actually overheating because I was using everything. Mirror. All right, so let me show you, because this is what I'm actually using mine for, and it's, come on now. Hold on. It locked how I had it outputting. Yes, I want a mirror. Thank you. There it goes. So how I'm running this right now is I have a pedal. So that's what's, when I press the center, that does that. And then I can hide whatever I have when I do comments. That's what the left one is. I forgot what I had the right one doing. Oh, it brings back the comment that I had. So, and then the left will hide it. This one brings it right back up. And then I have the center that brings up my like, subscribe, and share. That's what I use with this. Up here, this Elgato Stream Deck is for this computer. So, I mean, I don't use it right here except for the lights. So, like, when I use this to turn my lights on, get from behind my head. You know, so I use that for this. So this is for this computer. This will also tell me how many people are watching and stuff like that. This one is controlling my vMix over here. So like if I come over here, that's where I can bring up any of the stuff that I have over here. I don't want to press it because it's actually going to shut y'all down. So if I do my intro, I press this. So it brings back my intro, and I have my other scenes. That's what I have. Now I have also the mini right here that is controlling this live stream that's going to Twitch and my website. So, and I don't really have it doing anything except for switching over, recording, and live streaming. So how do I use that? So most of the time, like at Antioch and other places where, you know, a proficiency with doing the live stream and stuff like that, I have the regular size Stream Deck set up to where all they do is press. I have it, and they're using the OBS bundle, the original one that I made. That's the one that I have. Actually, let's remote in, and I can actually show you how I use that, because no one there at the church does anything directly with OBS. They always interact with OBS through the Stream Deck that I have there. So let's remote in. And I have a couple of churches who've done this. So when this opens up, let me open up OBS. And let's open up the Stream Deck once it actually, the Stream Deck software, so you can see. And it all depends. Like you see, I have this one stretched over here, so I'm not reaching all over here to get to the computer and stuff like that, right? So in here, the Stream Deck software, whenever it decides to want to open up, and I think it's almost time to upgrade this computer. It's still running a Ryzen 5 1600 that I put there like years ago. So anyway, I have it set up like this, and this is all they do. They just have press 1, the first button for starting, that shows the countdown. The second button, that's when it goes to the live feed that's going into the sanctuary. Press this button to show a lower third for online giving. Be right back, ending. If we have a funeral, they press that one. If they're doing a slideshow, they press that one. If there are technical issues, they hit that button. And now we added a button so that if they want to turn on AI tracking, they can press this button, and I would turn the tracking on, and they hit live. That's all the people that use the live streaming. This is all they interact with. They don't touch any of this stuff inside of here in any way, shape, or form. This is what streamlines it for everybody to operate the live stream. That's what they do with that Stream Deck. So I mean, I think it really makes it straightforward, especially if you have folks that they feel kind of intimidated with all the stuff when it comes to vMix and OBS and stuff like that. I have it set up like that. MA16 V3, we got some folks helping each other out, which is great. If it is hanging, add some kind of dampening foam. Yeah, that's kind of the same thing. Thank you for that, sir. For floor standing, shock plates, like what it should work good. Sweet. And then again, this is the beauty of the community. We got other people that are helping out, which is awesome. And I think this is the last comment. I have wire coming today. Outro. All right, sweet. Being an adult was a trap. I want to be 12 again, man. I see my daughter, and she's 10, and she just running around happy as I don't know what, not a care in the world. I'm just like, going to a pantry, food is there, drink is there, lights are on, internet's on. Ain't got to think about nothing. God, hello. Man, can't wait to see y'all. We just finished printing out you and your wife badge, so awesome for that. Let's see. Can you speak more about the connection from your phone to the switcher? I'm considering using a similar connection with my phone as a wide angle camera. Sure. Let me turn this right back. Actually, let me go over to. All right, that tracking is already on. And this is where I need to turn back on my wireless so I can get up. Envato. All right, there it goes. I don't know why it took so long for it to turn on. All right, so for me, what I use with this, yeah, there we go. Come on, there we go. All right, so what I have with mine is I have a oh, it's my phone. Anyway, I have my phone hooked up. I have a USB to HDMI adapter on here. Now, again, all phones don't support this, but this Google Pixel does allow me to do this. And I just have an HDMI coming out And that, well, I have it going into a switch, but then that's routed directly into my ATEM. And that's really all it is. So if I cut back to the app, I am using the, come on now. Oh, well, I can hold it like this. When I switch back over to this is the one that you see. And now let me switch the camera around. And we'll do, okay, it doesn't like the frame rate. So I switch it around and there you go. And that's what's routed in here. And if I turn this around, I know it doesn't support that. So, and again, that's what's being routed into my ATEM, and that's what y'all are able to see. And that's the whole setup of everything right there. So really straightforward. Like I said, I have this going into a 1x3 splitter right there. So that way that goes with, because I needed extra input. So that's the computer, this computer right here. That is this camera right now. And then this one is the other AVCam's camera that sits right here. So, and I have that routed into input number 3. And that's what y'all are seeing right now. So really straightforward. And what you can do, and then we just, you know, use different stuff to make all this stuff works. And I'm gonna turn that off because the camera is getting hot. I hope that helps. Lamar, what do you to remote to computer? Oh, I use Google Chrome, remote Chrome desktop. That's what I use for that. I have a video that I did that a while ago that covers that, and that's what I have on all these computers. So when I'm not here, I can remote into this. Every computer that I've ever sold that the client asked me to be able to be remote tech support, I install that, which reminds me I need to put that on the computer for First Baptist Church that I'm gonna be doing the install on Wednesday. Yeah, no, Tuesday. We're gonna be doing that. I need to do that for that one so that I can remote in. I have all the computers at Antioch. The other ones, I have it so that I can remote in if they have any issues. And that would be right here. So this is my access to all the ones that I have. 31st Street, all the 4 computers at Antioch, Bethlehem Baptist Church, Epworth in Baltimore, Elgin, First Union Baptist Church over here in Mechanicsville, Galilee Missionary in Smithfield, North Carolina, Guilford, that's in Chesterfield, Hood Temple, down the street from me, my sister's computer, older sister's computer, my Mac, my mom's computer, so I don't have to keep driving back for that, Mount Tabor, Shiloh, St. Matthews, Signs and Wonders computers, Tabernacle of Faith, my other computers here at Union Baptist Church, my daughter's laptop, BMC, I forgot what that stands for, but I know that's the church out in Queens. Chestnut Grove. I sold that computer to them 5 years ago, and it hasn't been online since 2020. Community Independent Methodist Church, Cornerstone. So we got a bunch. And most of these, they shut their computer off during the week. And this is my other laptop that's off upstairs. So as you can see, a lot of them were turned on and they turn them off after stuff is over. And what is this? WAWC. That hasn't been on since December. Some of the people use this, and once they started using Chrome Remote Desktop, they took over, and you can only have one account at a time logged in. So let's see. How can I connect my Elgato mobile stream deck using the cable? The mobile stream deck. It doesn't work that way. The Elgato mobile requires you to actually have a physical stream deck connected to your computer, and it's on the network. It communicates with one of them that has that. That's how that works. So you can't physically connect it with a cable. Life was better before mortgage. I remember my French teacher told me about that, mort in French means death. Engage in French means grip. So mortgage is a death grip. Anthony, hey, you are welcome. Back to Dean. Can you show your setup for Web Presenter in terms of getting audio into it? Well, yeah, I mean, Mine is really straightforward with how I do that. Let me turn camera back on. Let's go to number 3. So how I have my stuff set up, there's my web presenter right there that is streaming to y'all. That is being fed through that white cable. That's an SDI cable coming out of vMix. So vMix is producing everything, spits it out to my up-down cross converter right there that is sending a feed to this computer. The other feed is going directly into here. Now my audio doesn't really care because the audio is coming from the Roadcast that is being sent to my ATEM. That's what the mic 1 is on. This comes out into the capture card that's in this computer. So video and audio is coming to there. There's where the video feed and audio is, and then that spits out output and comes back in here. I know it sounds complicated, but really it's like audio comes here, goes into the ATEM. The HDMI out from this, the program out, goes out into the capture card on this system. vMix processes the video and audio, spits it out over SDI. I split it. One goes to my OBS computer behind me. The other one goes to the web presenter. So that's bringing in all the audio. So you see the bars and everything. Every time I talk, that's where it's being produced from. So I hope that helps y'all. And I need to turn this off so it stops heating up on me. Bye-bye. With ProPresenter bugs, we are trying to switch to a different software. Any suggestions? Yeah, I meant to do a breakdown and a deep dive on Free Show this week, but then my daughter had so much stuff going on this whole week. Every time when I got home, well, there was non-existent evenings, pretty much. So I was doing something every evening, so I didn't have the time to do it like I want to. So hopefully my schedule will be a little bit lighter on Wednesday. I'm gonna try and do a deep dive on that, or maybe even tomorrow or Sunday afternoon. But I would think Free Show, you could always try Presenter to see what you're doing. I know Presenter, from a free option, it gives you the basics of what you need, but depending on how you're using ProPresenter, that might not be a valid move for you. But let me take a deep dive in some other stuff, and we'll see what we can do to help you out. All right, folks, so this is where I want to go back to a comment that was brought in. And I did this one video, and it didn't give me the numbers that I'm used to, but I mean, I really don't care about that. But one thing I would like to bring to y'all's attention is kind of like media ministry stuff, knowing what we do. Normally, we are very rare. Do we want to push the limits and be the first one out there to do stuff? And I talk about this when I showed how to use all the same stuff that you got to do a live stream for a fitness class. I do that because first, we need to get based off of what we're doing. And y'all know that, I mean, it's upheaval everywhere. We need to be able to help steer some people's direction, give some education, because there's so many people out here that are using media, social media, and all this other stuff to broadcast a whole bunch of fake news, a bunch of fake conspiracy stuff, and reprogramming the minds of other people. So just call a spade a spade. If the average person is out there that's not going to church, doesn't have any type of relationship or stuff, you can't present to them church services, the very thing that they're not interested in. You cannot offer church services to them to educate them. It's just like with Jesus. He didn't go initially and met people with nothing but scripture. He walked and lived his life in that, but he met people's needs where they're at. So a lot of the stuff that you're going to be seeing me produce is showing how can the ministry that has a core belief in the principles of Jesus Christ and the gospel that you're following, how can you create similar content, but with a Christian basis. Like let's look at this channel. I talk about computers, building stuff. There's tons of people that do that, but y'all know me. I don't cram the Bible down your throat, but I hope my character shows it. And I think that's the same way of creating other content that is fulfilling an entertainment need for people, a health need, any type of benefit that the church can produce, but it has a biblical base in what it's doing, whether that is the foundation of how the show is being produced or the hosts of it. So again, I understand that's different, but I really think the next evolution of what we need to do from ministry with our broadcast ministries, our media ministries, is start producing stuff outside of just our church services and Bible study. If you're doing anything like that, or funerals or weddings, there's so much more stuff that you can do. And that's what I kind of want to encourage y'all to do. And that's where a lot of these videos are coming from. Let me see, Techie Terra. Does remote desktop take up a lot of room? I was asked about putting it on the laptop. No, it's actually just a web page. It doesn't take up anything like that. It just runs in the background as a service. It's not even noticeable at all. Mike W. Productions. Do you have a video on how to set up a confidence monitor? The church I'm helping has a computer with 2 HDMI outputs and 3 TVs, 2 in-house and 1 confidence. Yes, I do have videos that cover that, but what software are you using that's going to produce your confidence monitor? And what's going to be on your confidence monitor? Is it just a confidence monitor as in it's kind of like the monitor I have here that just shows me the exact same thing? Or do you want to have like a confidence monitor that just has black and white with text and lyrics that a choir or a speaker can do? Let me know and we can go from there. I need to move my pedal, and I had my leg up so I can relax, but I can't hit the pedal when I'm doing that. But I mean, what do y'all think? Like I said, sometimes like to do the stuff that we need to do, somebody has to be the bold one to step out and do some other stuff. And as much as I want to do, I hold myself back because I already have my plate full for a lot of stuff. But sometimes it's like, man, if it's gonna be, it's up to me. Sometimes you have to have that mindset, because again, that's what we're gonna be talking about. And I really encourage y'all to do that, because I mean, we're gonna be talking about using Chat GPT to make animated Bible stories. Because again, think about, I remember growing up, like I can name, I mean, I'm gonna date myself, and I know y'all, some of y'all can chime in because y'all around the same age as me. Coming home, being able to watch Thundercats, Gummy Bears, Tailspin, Chippendales Rescue Rangers, DuckTales, Spiral Zone, Mask, G.I. Joe, Transformers, The Visionaries, what other stuff? Cable Commanders. What's some other ones? I mean, that was the stuff that Mask. That was the stuff I grew up on. But then at that same time, we had The Flying House and Superbook. Those things reinforced, they were biblical based cartoons that met the needs of kids at that age, but it taught biblical principles. So what content out there is doing that? I mean, the cartoons that are out there right now outside of Phineas and Ferb, even though they don't even really produce that anymore, they're just doing repeats of stuff. There's an opportunity. There's a vacuum that needs to be filled. And you know how easy that is to actually have kids. I mean, because some parents, they just let the TV, the iPad, your phone be the pacifier for your kids. How much easier would that be I mean, as bad as that is, but at least you let the kids watch something that they're interested in and they're teaching some stuff. Like, that's how I remember all of these Bible trivia and Bible stories, not just because I saw, well, they really didn't teach them that much in church. I remember from the cartoons, you know? But I think there's more content and all this other stuff that we're doing right now with the cameras, our OBS, our vMix. There's so much more that we can do. And it's just really limited to our creativity on how we decide to use it. I'm making sure my audio is coming through. I mean, what do y'all say? What do y'all think? What is Let's have a community kind of a group brainstorming session. What is something that you think could be created for your ministry or just in general that can meet the needs that regular church is not doing? Because again, if you have in service on Saturday and Sunday, that's 6 days that nothing is being done. And I think what I'm going to do is probably going to hunker down and actually do an entire television broadcast type of thing, to where I have a header that shows what's going on during the days and kind of produce all this other stuff. Because you got to think, I mean, you could make, oh yeah, exactly. Mom's video, Voltron, I forgot the GoBots, what other stuff that we have? Shirt Tails, Heathcliff, Inspector Gadget. Man, I could go down the list of all these cartoons, and I got my daughter hooked on these because, I mean, they're actually good compared to this tomfoolery that I see out here right now. But just think about that. Like, what there's an opportunity for us in everything that we know that we're doing and what we're creating that we can. I mean, how do you not know that if one of y'all decides to put the effort in and to make a food show that talks about food of the Bible, how do you not know that that won't just catapult your ministry's page to where it's going to put you in front of millions of other people? And now you're going to be able to share the message of Jesus Christ to millions of people. And they came to you because you fed their need on a historical basis and food cooking. Is that worth it? Is that worth the time of creating a show to do that if it gets you an opportunity to place you in front of other people to share the message? Let's see. I'm here. I agree with you about developing other content, but it requires extra commitment working in a group where we're all volunteers. I'll be raising this with the team. Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. I mean, and again, that's my whole concern as well. I mean, because I'm being honest, like when I stepped out to do this, it was like 4 years of like a labor of love, pouring in my time, finances, all this other stuff. And all I got back was criticism and critiques about why what I'm doing is stupid. Again, we have to sit back and think about the long term. Again, like a lot of y'all came to my channel after I did the video on how to live stream at church services, and that was done 3 years before COVID even hit. No one watched that video, but the fact that it was in place, opportunity became available 3 years later. How do you not know? Like, here's some other ideas. Like, why not? I should do this as a poll, but I'm lazy. I don't want to sit up and put it on here. But right now, how many people have read the Bible from beginning to end? A lot of people haven't. How easy would that be for you to take whatever amount of time and you just do a series, a 365-day recording, do it live, and then after you've done it for 1 year, now you have a whole playlist that people can listen in and read through the Bible from beginning to end. I mean, it's the idea. Now, I understand it takes a commitment, but it's really sitting back and thinking, what are we doing this all for? Are we doing this just for our services, or are we doing it as a ministry so that this ministry can meet the needs of the people throughout the world and not just the immediate people here? Now, again, I know that's not everybody's viewpoint. That's just mine. But I know some people have that thought as well, too. But anyway, back to some more questions. Philip Paul, regarding the Blackmagic camera app with the clean HDMI output, can it be used with Android phone? Yes, I had an Android phone. That was the phone that I was using. It can be used on either one. I have it on. This is a Google Pixel Android phone, and this is an iPhone. So yes, it can be used with either one, but the phone has to support the using that a USB-C or whatever to a clean HDMI. And can it be converted to wireless? I mean, if it's plugged into a wireless transmitter and receiver, yes, it will work that way as well too. But yeah, we're going to be coming out with a bunch of other stuff. Reverend Lightfoot, Hey AJ, I have to read the whole Bible. Need to read it again. Yeah, and see, and that's what I'm saying. Reverend Lightfoot, she's gonna be in attendance at a conference. But yeah, but see, Reverend Lightfoot, how easy would that be? I'm messing with her because she goes to Antioch to be able to. And I know Pastor Paul wouldn't have no issue if you have any of the deacons. You don't even. I mean, laity. Anybody can sit down and create something of, hey, I want to actually go over Bible stories. I want to go over certain parts of the Bible. I mean, you don't have to do the entire Bible. You can take 30 days and go through all of the Proverbs. It's 31 Proverbs and just go through all of them. And then for the months that don't have 31 days, double it up. You know, there's so much wisdom that you can pull. And I remember Rakira was asking me like, Mr. AJ, how do you do the stuff that you're doing? I was like, you have an opportunity to create everything in front of you. You can record your church services. Even if you're not doing it, record that and use that as content to perfect your craft. You can take that, chop it up, and have nothing but the music ministry, the choirs. You can make shorts. You have content all over the place. And you can use that. I mean, you can just take footage of the church and then just put peaceful music to it and just let that be meditation prayer music. You know, there's so many ideas, and I think we need to flex our imagination. Imagination is God within. Is our imagination is us talking to God through that God is able to communicate to us. Where do you think hunches come from? That's coming from your imagination. Where does that come from? That comes from the Spirit of God talking to you. You know, that's where imagination comes from. Use our imagination to come. Like, y'all think I'm super smart? No, most of this stuff is like, I'll pray to God, ask for direction or something, and he'll pop something in my head. And it's like, let me go from there. And I think we limit what we can do. I ain't even going into that. Mr. James, also another person is going to be visiting us. I'm a little older, but I grew up watching David and Goliath. I remember Davy and Goliath. I remember that as well, too. But where are the replacements for that? Where's the upgrade of that? I think this is giving us an opportunity to do that. And then I'm going to start with me and Children's Church. See, exactly. Do you have a video on how to make a short? I do, but I need to make an updated one on that. I mean, I don't think I bought Opus Clips and I used it a while and I didn't make a video on it. Maybe I'll subscribe back to it and then do a video on that. But again, I mean, honestly, I've done stuff like I do it the long way. I like teaching people to do it the long way so that when they do have tools that make it easier, you know how to do it yourself. And you can appreciate what is being done. You have a mindset of what's going behind it. So, I mean, honestly, in theory and shorts, this is the same thing I was talking to a ministry this other week. Don't think about creating content, first off. Do not think about creating content. What I tell other people, and it's kind of the same way I'm doing, I'm not creating content. I'm just recording my life and what I do. And then that becomes content. I'm recording what I do in life. So what I do right now is I help media ministries every day, all day, every day. That's what I do. If I don't do that, I'm playing video games or I'm being a dad when my daughter needs stuff. That's what I do. So I just set up a camera and I give you a window into my life. And y'all are doing stuff all day long. And I always say this, y'all are all geniuses to somebody. Something that you just do all the time and you don't think is not a big deal. I promise you, if you put a camera up there, you're probably going to be educating people that want to know what you do. Something that you do so easily can be done. How you study the Bible, how you pray, how you fast, how you cook, how you live, how you fitness, how you raise your family, how you interact with your spouse. Those are things, especially having a Christian basis, that's the stuff to me. Like me personally, I can't stand Facebook and YouTube right now because they just have this corrupted, perverted view on relationships. They have these balloon popping channels where, I'm not interested in you because you're wearing these type of shoes. That has nothing to do with somebody's character. And they think, relationships are based off of your clothes, how much money you have. Forget about your character, forget about your personality. But where is the Christian basis to teach that a relationship or marriage isn't about that I'm happy. It's about a commitment. Where do you talk about that? You got women's channels out here talking about like get men to pay your bills. You got other channels out here, men talking about how to just use women and pump and dump and all this other stuff. I mean, that content is out there. It is our responsibility to create something like I'm gonna get off my podium real quick. But why most people say Sodom and Gomorrah went down because of the sin and the horrible lifestyle that they were doing. Yes, but there was also the reason why it was destroyed because there wasn't enough people living there righteously to help teach them that what they were doing is wrong. So I say it's the same way. We can sit back and critique all the craziness that's being produced on social media, but unless now that you know how to use a camera and all this other stuff, you got the skills to be able to help dilute that stuff and put something else out there. But if we have the ability to do it and we do it and we don't do it, we're just as guilty. What's the point of complaining about all the foolishness out there if we don't do something about it? But anyway, I leave that alone. Philip Paul, is there any way I can connect an IP surveillance camera to OBS? Yes, it all depends on the type of camera. Most IP cameras are sending that video over IP, and that's either RTMP, RTMPS. You have to be able to pull that feed. You would capture that in OBS like it would be a camera that's sending it over the network. That same principle is the same. It depends on the camera. Some cameras will encrypt it. If it's encrypted, then it won't work. Most of them won't do that. You just have to have a password to get access to it. But OBS would work. You would do a media source, make sure it's not a local source, it's over the network, put RTMP, the path that it shows. So like, for example, I could do the same thing with any of my cameras. So let me actually log into mine and I'm gonna turn it on so it will work first. So if and they got to do an update on this, but let me do this first. I need to turn this feature on. So again, these are unified cameras, but the features are the same. So in here, get rid of this, go over here. So when I go in here, I can turn on streaming and it gives me this link. I'm gonna copy the link. And then if I go into OBS, come on OBS, thank you for opening. There we go. So we're capturing our screen. I would come in here, we'll do a media source. And it's not local. I put the input in, put that path. And that's my security camera. If it supports that, then yes, that would work. But realize most IP security cameras do not have the same resolution or the frame rate that you're looking at. This security camera is at 24 frames a second. All the rest of my cameras are at 60. This is gonna be a noticeable difference. But yes, you can do that. Most cameras, if the camera supports that, then yes, that would work. Rosalind. Bonjour, hello, hello. That's been going on since the dawn of time. Yeah, but I mean, but that's the thing. We have to be adamant on if we have the tools. We cannot go into 2025 and beyond thinking that we can share the gospel the same way and share a message to a world that's evolved, and we're still trying to go into the 21st century with second century solutions. You can't. I mean, you can, and you're going to get the same stupid results there. I mean, again, my personal opinion is not that people don't want to change. The real truth is most people are lazy and they don't want to do anything else. This is what we're used to doing. This is all I want to do. I don't want to exert any more effort. This is how we've always done it. We always put the hymns on that plaque on the wall? Why in the world would I want to put up a projector so that people can see the songs when they can just pull out their hymnal? Is that, I know that's a small example, but that's the thing. Things are changing and people are resistant to change. The only thing that doesn't change is God. Everything else is changing. So if you're still trying to do that stuff, let's go back to tech stuff. Jason, we have recently bought a PTZ camera and we're using OBS and want to start live streaming on Facebook. Is there a way to start the live directly from OBS? We keep having to go, yes, in Facebook, you need to schedule it. In Facebook, if you schedule it, schedule the event, you give it a time and say you want to start live streaming at 10 o'clock. If you make an event, all you have to do is start streaming it. And what Facebook will do, and it's a checkbox that goes through it. And I think I did that in the video on how to live stream with Facebook, I think 2023 edition. That principle is still the same. If you go through that and check that off, and I got to be careful because they always be changing these rules left and right. So let me see if I can actually do this. No, Mr. Bullock would have been 86 today. He had passed a while ago. All right, I'm gonna see if I can do this here. So inside of here, you want to schedule, creating an event. And I might have to switch this out when it shows stuff it doesn't need to. So, you know, you would set this, and I'll just do a test. And I want this to start, I don't know, 1 a.m. in the morning. Not gonna do that. You got to pick all this other foolishness. And I'm going to make this private for right now because I don't want this to go out here. Test. We fill all this stuff out, right? And then you're going to make a recurring, we're going to add video to this. And that's why I'm going to flip this off here for a second so you don't see the code and all this other stuff. Come on now. All right, we're gonna set up video. And you pick your streaming stuff, all this other stuff. And here it is, the message right here. Go live automatically at scheduled time. If this is checked off, if whatever, like at 1 a.m., as long as your stream is sending a video source here, as long as it's doing that, Facebook will broadcast your stuff automatically and you do not have to come in here and click go live. That's the advantage of doing that. If you do that, schedule your own event, and you can schedule an event a year out. So you can have a recurring event for every Sunday or whatever day that you're doing service. And as long as you check that off, go live automatically at the scheduled event. If your service is at 10, I have people start streaming, hit the start streaming on OBS at 9:45. As long as the video feed is going to Facebook before the time, it will automatically go. So I hope that answers your question. Rosalind, thanks for that. I forgot that somebody made that as well too. See, that's the beauty of all the stuff that's in the conference, folks. We got 2 years, the first 2 years of conference videos are here on the channel, and then that's the same thing that's going to happen after this conference. We'll upload those 9 months after that. So, I mean, if you want to wait a year, that's when you can see all the stuff that's going to be done live. Dharmesh, hi, I got a Blackmagic A10 Mini Pro, but got one output, but I want to have one output multi-view and another going to a different TV. How would I do that on a budget? I have a video that does that. The A10 Mini Pro can only give you one. Now, with the 9.5 software and up, you could have the HDMI out, give you the program feed, and then you have to change the software to make the USB run into your computer and go into a camera app or something like that, and then you could do the multi-view. But that's the limitation of the A10 Mini Pro. If you don't do that, that's all you're going to be able to do. If you're streaming, the ATEM can still stream directly, and then the USB can go to your computer, and then you can set it as the multi-view. So if I come back over here in the software with that latest update, you have outputs, and now web output, you can make it be anything. By default, it's programmed. You can set it in multi-view. You cannot hook up the USB out from the ATEM directly into a monitor that has USB. That will not work. You're gonna have to connect it to a computer or something like OBS, or just mainly the camera app on your Mac or your PC. You open it up and that's what will show. So for example, if I open up the camera app right now and I cycle through to that camera, my Blackmagic one, that's what will show. Now, it's gonna mess up what I'm getting ready to do because I only have one thing. So if I switch this right now, that's showing the program view. If I change the USB output to multi-view, that's what you get. So, but that is a program that's doing that. You have a program that will read into your USB feed. That's how that will work. If not, that is the only option that you got for that to work. I hope that helps you out. And let me turn that security camera off because I don't want that setting to stay there. Jason, you are welcome. Philip Paul, I can't create an event on Facebook using Restream to stream, right? I can't create an event on Facebook using Restream to stream. Only can stream directly. Not an event, because an event is something completely different. An event in Facebook is kind of like the e-missionary conference event. It's like a calendar event. It just shows at this time this is going to happen. The streaming is a component of the event. So Restream cannot create an event. It can only create the video. So that's correct. No, Restream cannot make an event. Does each model of the Synology NAS have a max disk storage it is capable of with, or can I buy multiple disks of any size? For the second question first, yes, you can buy it of multiple sizes, multiple disk sizes. They don't have to be the same, but that depends on the type of RAID that you're using to join those together. If you want to do mirroring, and if you use the Synology hybrid stuff, you can mix and match hard drive sizes and it doesn't matter. If you want to have like RAID 0 or something like that, you can mix and match them, but you're going to lose space. So if you pair a 4 terabyte drive with a 10 terabyte drive, all you're going to get is 4 terabytes. It's not going to give you more if you do traditional RAID. But yes, and then some of them have a limitation on the bigger drive that they can use. I think my initial one that I gave to Antioch, I think the biggest drive that can take is 10 terabytes each. Unless they did a firmware update to make a change of that. Heal, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. What if the video stream send after the scheduled time? Will it still automatically start? No, if you missed the time, that means you missed the event. So you're gonna have to manually start the live stream. That's the whole goal. If you do what I used to do at Antioch when I had them set it up like this, when we were streaming before we were using Vimeo and stuff like that, I would set up the event, and if the church service starts at 10, I made sure everybody, when they walked in, start streaming on OBS immediately when they walk into church. So that's at 9:15, so they would never miss it. If you miss that window of time, you're going to have to manually start a stream. You can't make it another event because an event allows you, and a recurring event or anything like that for your live stream, you can only schedule it 15 minutes ahead. If you want to start instantly because you missed that time, you're going to have to manually make it. Man, I honestly get so many of the same questions. Like, I take this, what I do here on YouTube, as a reflection of me. Meaning that I try the best of my ability to put out content so that it won't come back to bite me in the butt. So I'm gonna say this. A lot of times I get questions that my human nature rises up and I want to answer it a certain way, which will probably be flagged as derogatory. But then I delete that comment and I don't post it. So, you know what? And the rest of that comment, I'm not going to say because I know that it'll be taken out of context. So anyway, I try the best that I say that some stuff, I try and show you, you can't do certain things. So I think somebody asked me a question. How do you get rid of the watermark on ProPresenter? The easiest way to get rid of the watermark, subscribe to the service. That's what gets rid of the watermark. The watermark is there to show that the service hasn't been paid for. You're still using the free version that they have. So that's it. Well, I hope that was nice. Yay. You are welcome. Jarwood Streaming Services from Jamaica. Hello, hello. I need to get back out to Jamaica. Very, very beautiful place. I went to Falmouth and a couple other places like that. T-Man. He-Man, He-Man, that was another cartoon I forgot. She-Ra and He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. What other ones did we have? Brave Star. What other ones? Dinosaurs. That had the hardest intro ever because all it was dinosaurs. Dinosaurs. That's all the theme song was. What's the other one? Silverhawks. What's some other ones that they had? Man, see, cartoons were classic. Galaxy Rangers, that was my joint. But anyway, do you know of a system I can integrate with OBS that will allow users to input text or graphics? I want for teachers, song leaders, and announcements to have a device where they can input information. What type of information? Because, I mean, technically, you could just get a tablet and have it do NDI capture, and it can capture the screen from the tablet and just send it over, and you just have NDI on OBS, and whatever they put will show that up. I've used that before. Actually, I did that the other week with my phone. You could do that, but need some more information exactly. I was thinking about using a local web server and a browser source to accomplish this, thinking to develop something with WordPress, but really don't want to have to do all that, any plugins. Well, it all depends on the type of content that we're going to do, but that would work. Y'all funny. Thundercats. That was another one I forgot. Thundercats. What's some other ones? Y'all remember the comic strip? And that used to have my other show that had the same voices from Thundercats and Silverhawks. It was Tiger Sharks. Who's got a tiger by the tail? Hold on, Tiger Sharks. Da-dum. Tiger Sharks. Da-dum. What was the other ones? I mean, it was so many cartoons I grew up with that just loved watching. Oh, here's one. What about Hulk Hogan and the wrestlers? Mr. T and the gymnast. That was another one. The classic Scooby-Doo, but that's still going on now. What other ones? I don't want this to go into the whole cartoon stuff, but man, we had some time. Cartoons were classic. Exactly. Philip Paul was saying, does the Casa switch or Tapo switch have a push? I don't understand the question. Yeah, I don't understand what you're trying to say. Are you just asking for like a manual switch that you can turn it on, off? I'm missing what you're saying with that. Please let me know if I missed that. But yeah, folks, other thing I am going to do now that school, this is like the last full week of school. I want to get back into, and I'm going to try and do this once a week as well. Casper the Friendly Ghost, that was another one. Remember the classic Ghostbusters, the bootleg Ghostbusters, where the car, where it was the gorilla and it was two people in a car that had a Ghostbuster face on it. So it wasn't a go Ghostbusters, go, let's go Ghostbusters. It was that one right there. I mean, it was so many cable. I think I said Cable Commanders, Visionaries, the Care Bears. Well, I mean, it hasn't been on in I don't know how. Babar, y'all remember that? But anyway, what I was trying to say is I'm gonna try and get back to this. I think it might be on a Tuesday or a Thursday when I do this. But what I'm gonna do, if y'all want me to do reviews of live streams, your church live streams, I'm gonna start getting that back. I need to have a dedicated day to do that. So I'm thinking on the broadcast stuff. So y'all know every Friday I do this. I've been so busy. I hadn't done none of my podcasts this entire year because it's just been so busy. So for me, my schedule, don't hold me to this yet. If I had everything was running like a well-oiled machine, Monday would be my podcast. Tuesday would be Tech Tuesdays where we talk about different stuff. Thursday would be live stream reviews. Fridays would be the Q&A like we're doing. And then Saturdays and Sundays, I'm at church. But you want to do that, email me at questions@ajhomes.com. Make the subject live stream reviews. Make sure if you send this to me, whoever's sending it, you also have access to your YouTube channel, because when I use your stuff, I'm going to get hit because I'm using your video. So I need y'all, when you send this to me, also to have permission to use your video. So just like you need to ask anybody to use the video, if you send this to me, I need permission from the person who has access to that YouTube page that I can actually use your video and review it. Even though I'm making new content reviewing, I want to make sure all my bases are covered. So send me an email at questions@ajhomes.com, call it live stream review, tell me your ministry, give me a link to where it is, and we'll be reviewing that. I'll probably try and start that next week or the week after that. But that's what we're gonna start doing as well too, so we can highlight some of the stuff y'all are doing and bring some attention, some new stuff that ministries are doing that you might want to incorporate into your ministry. Let's get these last ones out. Oh, Space Ghost, that's another one as well too. Man, that was now I like Space Ghost, but then the play on it, Space Ghost Coast to Coast, that was hilarious. What other stuff was on SWAT Cats? That was another one that I loved watching. Man, we can go all on cartoons all day long. Have you used ATune Mini's color grading feature, especially when using different camera brands? Well, the color management will not work on different brands. It will actually only work on Blackmagic camera. So this is a Blackmagic camera. That one right there is, and I had another one, and then my pocket cinema camera right here. Those will work. Any other one that doesn't accept those commands, they won't work with the color stuff. Yeah, Tom and Jerry is another classic one as well too. And like I said, Space Ghost. MA16 V3. I've been thinking about doing a video series for the express purposes of demystifying AV and networking. Go for it. It is much needed. T-Man, any ideas why OBS won't remux MKV if I chose to do it manually? It only works if I set OBS to do it automatically. Otherwise, I get an error. No, that's new. I've never had that pop up like that. That, man, and then Aqua Teen Hunger Force, that's more newer stuff. I mean, and then the classic Beavis and Butthead, that was myself. Daria. I wasn't a big fan of King of the Hill. I really didn't watch that as much. I mean, you know, the classics that are still on, The Simpsons, all that other stuff like that. But I'm thinking about cartoons I grew up with. What other stuff? Oh, Banana Man, Danger Mouse. Man, what were some other ones? I remember when I the Berenstain Bears, used to watch that. David the Gnome. I'm thinking about the ones that were classic on Nickelodeon that I used to grow up on. But anyway, man, it's like, again, it's so wide open. There's so much content and ideas that are available that you could do. But really excited about that. Just again, folks, let y'all know that for me, just giving you my schedule, the week of the 22nd through the 28th, there will be no Q&A. I'll do that on the community. I'm taking my daughter on her first cruise, so that Friday, the 27th, we'll be on a plane. So won't be able to do anything. So we'll be doing a live stream on on the 30th, next Friday, the 6th, the 13th, and the 20th. And then we're out of there. We're not doing anything. And then we got the 4th and the 11th. And we're going to do the 18th. The 18th is going to be during the E-Missionary Conference. And again, folks, highly recommend you to come out and sign up for that, to be in person or online. It's going to be a blast. We got Ronnie's Barbecue. He's going to be catering on the last day, because if you eat his food on a Friday, you will be asleep. He was actually a friend of the family. He was on Best Thing I Ever Ate. So, I mean, you like some smoked brisket, ribs, chicken, all that good stuff. Oh, they throw down. So that's what we're going to be having catered there. That's going to be, well, look at that. Look at that right there. But anyway, and they're actually down the street from the church. He actually was a member of Antioch. I don't know if he's still there, because I know he's normally working. But Mr. Logan, I was actually talking to him the other day. So they're going to be catering. And then I got Two Peas in the Pod, another friend of the family. They're going to be catering. They are actually, let me actually give you, and if you registered, I'm going to be sending out a form, because we're going to be picking food. And I want y'all, if you've registered, to pick out your food. That way we can tell you what you can get. So for Friday, these are the dishes that are going to be available, and well, for dinner, because breakfast and lunch we're providing. It's going to be like Jimmy John's, some sandwiches and stuff, some breakfast stuff from Panera, coffee and stuff. But for the food for Friday at the conference, is going to be oven baked chicken with maple and thyme, shrimp scampi with rice pilaf, roast pork tenderloin with sage gravy, and baked ziti as a no-meat option, with sides mac and cheese, green beans, cabbage, sweet potatoes, mashed potatoes, squash and onions, and herb roasted potatoes. That's what's going on for Friday. And then we're getting some sandwiches from Jimmy John's. We're probably going to offer each one, and then we just ordered based off of the people that are registered. If you did not register and you show up the day of, unless you get there early, registration on Friday, we'll be able to call it in and change that order. But if not, you got to deal with the scraps that are left. Let me get these man, y'all firing it away. Animaniacs, that was another one. Tiny Toon Adventures, Birdman and Bird Boy. Oh man, that's a classic right there. Gargoyles, Captain Planet. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Yuck Face. What's about Freakazoid? Was another one. What was the Harlem Globetrotters? Remember that one? What was the other one? Jabberjaw. That was a Jabberjaw. Josie and the Pussycats. That was another one. Merry Melodies. Yep. Bruce, man, you missed it. We're talking about all the old cartoons. James, I'm telling you, food is going to be good there. We might even order some pizzas as well, too. Some people want to have some other stuff as well, too. All right, last question for the day. Philip Paul, just want to know, any update on the video for the PC2 on when, any video on the video for the PC to on when it receives power? Yeah, I thought I did that. I need to record. Yeah, no, I had to re-record that because the video didn't come out right. I would go back over that as well too. That's just a BIOS update. I might do that as a short to get that done. That'll be easier instead of trying to do all this mass production. But like I said, folks, thank you so much for joining by. Yeah, I did say G.I. Joe. Want to give a big shout out to all my Patreon supporters and YouTube members. If you like what we do here, folks, and trying to educate and move the ministry forward and push the needle on what media ministry is meant as an evangelism tool, you can always go to patreon.com/AJaytheCEO to get started for as low as $1.50 a month, or you can click the join button down below to become a YouTube member. No matter which way you pick, folks, you are helping us train media ministries all over the world. And Patreon supporters and YouTube members, I did put a code out there so y'all get discounts if you register for the conference. So please use that. as a benefit, and that's my way of saying thank you for supporting me through this channel and all this other fun stuff. Folks, if no one's ever told you, thank you for what you're doing. Man, I want to shout this person out real quick, because they did a sermon for their church, and he sent it to me, and the whole sermon was talking about exactly what we do. And he was shouting out, let me see if I can find it. I got to go through my whole YouTube history of everything that I watch. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, Mr. Tony. It was their service, and his sermon was talking about getting beyond the four walls. I think they're just broke ground, or they're building a church, and they doing everything online, but they're having their new church. But they were saying that this is a change of being able to use the tools and the technology to share the gospel like never before. And again, I want to give them a shout out, Miracle Bible Way Church of Christ. Again, thank you for that. But again, if it wasn't for what y'all are doing, what you're doing at your local ministry is helping the body of Christ. That's what it's all about. I hope the little bit that I do helps you, but we need you to do what you're doing. You're called for what you're doing, and I appreciate what you're doing. Whether anybody at your local ministry, let's be real, even if your family, your friends don't appreciate you, thank you. I appreciate you for what you're doing, because it does my heart well to know that there's somebody out there that's doing the same thing I'm doing. All the questions you're asking, all the money you're spending, all the stuff that you're researching to improve your skills so that you can be more proficient in what you're doing and offer what you're doing in a higher capacity to reach more people. That's important. That's what it's all about. So again, thank you for what you're doing. I appreciate what you're doing. Don't ever think that you're not appreciated, because you are. All right. I hope y'all all have a great day, evening, after Pink Seat. Man, y'all throwing out these cartoons now. Fat Albert. What about the Brown Hornet? Y'all remember that one? Super Friends. Yeah. Pink Panther. That's a classic. Huckleberry Hound. What about that? What's that one that Hanna-Barbera did where it was all of their cartoons, the Laugh Olympics? That one as well too. But anyway, folks, thank you so much. I hope y'all have a great day, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. And we'll be seeing y'all on the next video, folks. Later.